Well, hello and welcome back to the studio, the Lighthouse Podcast. I'm Stacy Hall, and together we are raising our frequency to be able to shine our bright lighter so that we can be of greater service to our audience and not just give lip service, right? And for us to be making more sales, enjoy more satisfaction, achieve more success, live a longer, happier life. And this episode is part of our frequency series. A number of us collaborated with Bruce Lipton, who is featured in the movie Frequency. That's getting a lot of attention. And we have come together, myself and my guests during this series, to be able to help you understand why more and more people are turning to frequencies, as Einstein predicted they would, to be able to improve our lives in every particular way. And today in the studio, I have Dr. Melissa Balizan, and this is a real treat. First off, she's the pharmacist you really want to know because she's not in the box. She's outside the box in many different ways, helping us all to live longer and healthier lives. She's a member of A4M, which is a medical organization where all the members are dedicated to helping us live longer, healthier lives. She's been awarded a California Congressional Honor. She's the executive producer and the host of Vital with Dr. Melissa. And she herself has created a whole body health program that you're going to want to know more about, which is why I asked her to come into the studio and talk to us today about what role frequency plays in her practice with her, we'll call them patients, her clients, and in her life. So Dr. Melissa, it is wonderful to have you with us, with me here talking about this.
Oh, it's an honor, Stacy. I always love coming into your studio. So thanks for having me back.
Well, that is so sweet. Well, of course I was going to have you back. Everybody adores you. And now we get to learn from you some more. So we're going to start with a question I have not ever asked you before. And that is, what happened in your life that you began to realize that frequency medicine was going to be the thing that was going to transform human bodies, the world, all of it? What made you adopt it as not just a philosophy, but a practice?
So that goes way, way back, even before I became a doctor, even before I thought about going to school. My mom, she actually had some medical issues when I was in my early preteen years. And I saw her going to the doctor, and I saw how some of the things that how they treated her, and she would come home, and even though she couldn't get the answer, she would go and she would kind of delve deep and look inward and look at her mind and her emotions. And early on, it taught me that frequency plays a role, and health is more than just physical. And so she would always have this positive mindset, even when things weren't going right. And so I started over the years kind of tuning into different things and looking and going, oh, there is things that, your mindset, when you set your mind to be positive and things happen positively, when you're grateful, things happen positively. And so it was really early on. And she set that example for me of, being a great mom, having some health issues, and realizing that it wasn't just physical. It involved a lot of different things. And I think, and I've seen that in my practice, if you depends upon your outtake on, when the doctor tells you, oh no, you have cancer, how your mind is as to how your body's going to respond to that and to respond to the treatment. So early on, and it's brought me all the way out.
I have to say I'm a little bit dumbfounded that you learned that lesson so early, that you learned it that way. But thank you for sharing that with us. As you meet folks and they ask you about your work and they consider having you be their guide, their mentor, do you come across misconceptions about what frequency medicine is? Do they just accept it? Like, what have you found is the easiest way for you to be able to share with somebody who's skeptical that there is reality to frequency medicine?
So a lot of people do think it's just woo-woo, mystical, something, but it's actually in part of all of us. It's part of our everyday lives. And so what I do is I help people understand that frequency is reflected in the choices that we make every single day. Waking up, having a positive attitude, how we nourish our bodies, how we manage the stress in our lives. So one of the things that I do in my practice, and why it's called whole body health, is because I do look at more than just the physical. I look at physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional health. And all of those things play a role. And when you wake up in the morning and you're grateful, one of the first things I do is I'm very grateful for the day, and I pray for the day that it was great. It helps keep me in a positive mindset. And so I help people in my practice gratitude. I help them learn ways to nourish their bodies. I help them cultivate positive thoughts. There's a program that I can use that it like shows you all these positive messages. And it's proven that when you start your day with intention, rather than immediately going and looking and responding to a news thread or social media post or emails, you're going to have a better outlook on your day if you start with that positivity. And you want to live with purpose. And so one of the things that I do is I walk alongside you on your journey. That is one of my phrases all the time. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to walk alongside you. I'm here to teach you small, simple steps. Take one step and it's going to lead to the next step. And that each step is a mindset shift along the way. So I'm teaching you little pieces of frequency, whether you know it or not, even though you thought maybe it was just woo-woo. It's in everything that we do. When we take a bite of food and we chew that food and we enjoy that food, there's a signal that goes to our brain. Okay. And it's a feel-good signal. And that's all frequency. So I use it in every aspect of what I do and how I teach my clients and help guide them so that they can go on to live the best life and live a healthier and longer life.
Yeah, I love how simple you make it for people to understand, because I generally say to people, all right, you don't have to believe that it's frequency, but do you believe that there are negative people? Like, you get around people, you can feel their negativity. Everybody says yes. And then there's positive people. All right, that is frequency. That's what we're feeling, is the energy. You have a very hopeful view of the future, which is why I love hanging out with you, why everybody loves hanging out with you. What is that view that you have? What do you, when you look ahead in this area of health, what do you expect is going to change, improve, transform? Would love to have your view of the crystal ball of where we're going.
Sure, Stacy. So my crystal ball might look a little different than others, but what I think is that healthcare will recognize that there are factors such as stress, mindset, sleep, social connection that will make a difference, and they will start paying attention to that. I have seen actually some of your providers are actually already keen into that. They're asking you questions. How many hours of sleep are you getting? What are you eating? Different things that will make it so that the future of health isn't just about living longer, it's about living better. And if we understand these choices that we're making every day, the thoughts that we think, the relationships that we want to embrace ourselves in, and if we live with purpose, which intentionally doing something, living with purpose, and hearing that frequency that's going through your mind and your body and your spirit, they will align. And I truly, I mean, I use this in my practice, and I do think that healthcare will get there. I don't know exactly how many years it will take, but I have seen some of the some of the better providers are starting to key in on those other things that play a role in your life.
I'm very fortunate. My medical doctor is a medical doctor, but he treats homeopathically and very much a proponent of frequency medicine. It's nice to hear that other people will be. And I will say I pay out of pocket for that, right? So it's not covered by the thing. It will be nice when, well, I'll just share. I happen to know, can't share names. I happen to know that the government, the military knows all about frequency medicine. You know this too. And yet it has not been shared with the public or through traditional methods, we'll say, of medicine. So I am counting on the fact that your vision is going to manifest. And I hope sooner than later, right? So making me tear up a little bit. That would be a beautiful, wonderful thing to see happen. All right. For those of you who are thinking now, I have 1,000 questions for Dr. Melissa. Of course you do. And what's fabulous is she's actually making herself available. She is on LinkedIn. She's there every day. You can find her at Dr. Melissa Balizan, right there, scrolling across your screen. Dr. Melissa, when somebody comes to you through LinkedIn, what do you want them to let you know, or what do you want to be able to share with them if they're going to contact you?
So yes, they can share with me if they have a question. They can definitely ask a question there, and I can refer them. Some of the questions I'll be able to answer in a direct message. If it's kind of broad, very personal things, and I want to be able to walk alongside you on your journey. So send me a message and we'll connect. So we'll set up an appointment so that we can actually go through what is troubling you, and we can figure out how frequency can actually help you and help your loved ones, because when you're feeling more in tune with your body, it actually spreads, and your whole household will start seeing the new light that you're shining.
Okay. Do you hear the value here? So many of us are like, oh, I wish I could ask somebody. Well, as much as I love my doctor, if I didn't have that particular doctor, before I would ask a doctor anything, I would go to a pharmacist. And a lot of people don't know pharmacists have to study more than a medical doctor. They are doctors. That's, as you can see, Dr. Melissa. And sometimes I think people think that's an honorary doctorate, and it's not true. So I'm going to give you a second to explain, why does a pharmacist know more than a regular medical doctor usually?
Okay, so a second to explain. So a pharmacist has a lot more schooling of medications. I go through how the medications affect your body, how your body affects the medications. And yes, those are two different things. That's just one thing. There's pathophysiology, there's pharmacology, there's a whole host of study involved with medications and understanding them. And I have 6 years of that. Your physician, your provider, your nurse practitioner, your PA, your physician who went to medical school, and yes, they went to medical school and they spent 4 years in medical school. However, their curriculum for medications is 1 semester long, and they're allowed to prescribe. So they are great, yes, but I am the medication expert. So come and ask me if you have a medication question, if you have a supplement question, that's my wheelhouse. So I have more education, and that's not always so just having numbers and letters behind your name is not always the best thing. but I can tell you that I've helped more than 15,000 clients optimize their medication. I have more than 52,000 clinical hours working and focusing and doing this. And so your physician and me can work together to have optimal health for you.
15,000 patients. I just wanted to emphasize that. She's worked with 15,000 patients. Although we're all unique in our ways, the human body tends to do things in particular ways. So she probably has helped somebody in the exact same position you are right now and has access to experts, other experts that can help as well. So that's not just a LinkedIn link there. That's a lifeline. And Dr. Melissa, thank you. Thank you for taking time away from your very active, I find it so funny you have to call it practice. I'm going to call it your clinic, okay? Because like you're not practicing anymore. You're pretty masterful. But from your clinic to be here to share with us your view as a trained doctor, a pharmaceutical, I just went into the wrong, like, I'm just going to call you PharmD, but as a pharmacist, to tell us that, yes, the science of frequency is correct. It's real. It's measurable. And it's not woo-woo. Very much appreciate that. And if your physical body, your emotional body, your spiritual body is not in alignment, if you are feeling off, there's no way your light is going to shine the way it's meant to be shining on others. You won't be able to help them come out of their darkness. So if you're feeling off in any way, reach out to Dr. Melissa. And thank you for being the lighthouse you are. Thank you, everybody, for being here as always. And as always, I'm Stacey Hall, and I say, shine on.